Review session 1 and 2. Okay, scarcity. First we have scarcity. Scarcity is the basis of all economics of choices because it means, and you should write down the definition, limited resources in the face of unlimited wants. So you may hear the AP test say limited means as opposed to limited resources, but we want more than we can possibly have. To be scarce, you must be two things. You must be desirable and limited. Water is limited. Even though there's a lot of it, there is a finite amount, and it's also desirable. And it doesn't matter if you're a wealthy country or a poor country, there is a limited amount. You must also be desirable. So the Ebola virus is limited. There's only so many microorganisms in the world, but it's not desirable, so it's not scarce. We also have the concept of free. Free in economics is not what we think of as free. When they say buy one, get one free, it's not really free. Economists like to say there's no such thing as a free lunch. Free in economics means there's no opportunity cost. You're not giving up anything, and that's not true. Every time you make a choice, you choose not to do something else, and that sacrifice is called opportunity cost. So that brings us to opportunity cost. In opportunity cost, again, that means, and you want to write it down, the best foregone option. That's a very important phrase. Best foregone option. I also want to write sacrifice. You want to write what you give up. Now, if I decide to go to a concert and I could have worked for an hour and I have two jobs, a job where I earn $10, a job where I earn $5, my opportunity cost is not $15. It's not the two jobs put together because I can't do both jobs at once. It has to be the $10 because out of the 10 and 5, 10 is the best option. So it's the best foregone option. And in opportunity costs, that includes explicit and implicit costs. Explicit is out there. You know, we hear the words explicit music. It's out there. It's all right there in front of your face. So explicit costs, if I went to the concert, is the $10 I physically paid to go to the concert. It's open. It's obvious. Implicit means you have to think about it a little bit more. It's implied. So the implicit cost is the $10 in addition that I gave up where I could have been working, making my total opportunity cost $20. And I would actually write that example out on my sheet. Opportunity cost then directly connects to another basic concept, the production's possibilities curve. And that curve, in general, represents what can a nation possibly make? What is their capability? What's their potential as an economy? And first of all, take a moment to think about what does this look like? Sketch the graph. What are on the axes? If you guess capital goods on the y-axis and consumer goods on the x-axis, you are correct. What is its shape? Think about that. If you said bowed out from the origin, you are correct as well. I feel like I'm on Dora the Explorer. What's the reason for the shape and what kinds of things help it shift outward? Here's a picture of the shape. The original curve, the one on the inside, is just the original PPC. And the reason that it is bowed out from the origin is because of the law of increasing opportunity cost. It is not a straight line. If it were a straight line, it would be a constant cost, PPC, where, and I would write this down, the slope of the PPC measures opportunity cost. Rewind it, listen to it, write it again. The slope of the PPC measures opportunity cost. If the slope gets greater as you go along the curve, your opportunity cost gets greater as you decide to make more and more consumer goods. That is why the PPC is shaped the way that it is. The orange arrows represent economic growth. So you would want to write down some of the things that shift the production possibilities curve. Quality of resources. So if people are educated, the human resource is better quality. Quantity of resources. There are more people that are available to work. Doesn't mean they're all being worked, but they're more available. You have technology. Technology improves, so does your production. Finally, international specialization. If you don't try to make everything as an economy, but rather you trade and specialize, your economy can grow economically. You can maximize your resources. One final thing I don't have written on the study guide, but you want to add, and that is unemployment. In your very original PPC curve, put a dot on the somewhere on the inside of that curve, not on the curve, on the inside. Mark it A and label it unemployment. You are operating inside the PPC. That means that you are not maximizing your resources. You still have the same amount of people there. There's still 100 people in your population, but only 50 of them have jobs now. So that's important to know. If you then move to full employment, put an arrow from point A, mark somewhere on the curve a point B, actually on the curve. That's a movement to employment. And anywhere, make a note of this, anywhere on that curve is optimal. That means you're maximizing your resources. So even if you are at zero capital goods and you're doing all consumer goods, if you're on the PPC, it's still optimal. You're still maximizing your efficiency. Unemployment is called under allocation of resources. If you're on a point above the PPC curve line, or PPC, that would be overemployment. That's manic. You can do that temporarily, but you can't sustain it. It's the 3 minutes of psycho basketball play that you can't sustain. Okay, I believe next you have and if not, you can just find them, but I believe next you have comparative and absolute advantage as definitions to write in, the focus of the next part of the review, coming up here shortly. Which means you can do something the fastest, or you can produce it the most. If you said absolute advantage, you are correct. We'll do some practice problems with that later, but you should write down for the definition. It means absolute advantage means you can produce something the fastest, which means the quickest amount of time, or you can produce more of it. Comparative advantage, you want to write down, means you can do something at a lower opportunity cost. You can give up less to make the good. Your sacrifice isn't as great. Productive efficiency, if you remember, it's about, key term, least cost production. Write that down. Least cost production. You are making a good as cheaply as you can, but still a good product. For my micro people, this is a micro review, so you're all micro people. Remember, and I would write this down, graphically, that is the minimum point of your ATC curve, your average total cost curve. So I would draw a little ATC, it's just a U-shaped curve, title it ATC, and at the minimum, mark it and put productive efficiency. Allocative efficiency means you are maximizing resources so that supply equals demand. Write that down. S equals D. Society gets what it's demanding. Write that down. That also means MB equals MC, because marginal benefit is our demand curve, and marginal cost is our supply curve. So you're allocating your resources efficiently so that society gets what it wants. All of those phrases are important, and I would include all of those in your definitions.